Hey guys, welcome back to Cybertruck 1. I am here today to do a little who, what, where, why, and when. First off, we are going to be building hopefully the first hard shell truck camper for a Cybertruck. I'm going to be a foundation owner. Hopefully that happens very quickly. We think in the next month or two. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself and why we're doing this and what my skill set is. And I'm hoping that as you follow along, you'll be interested in joining both our X channel and our YouTube channel. So anyway, to give you some background, I am what I did for a living. I'm actually retired. I'm a retired firefighter. I was a firefighter for over 25 years, actually 32 if you count a couple different departments and things that I did. But I retired as a firefighter in New Jersey. I also worked city EMS for about 10 years in a town called Union City, which is probably one of the, it's not the, doesn't have the most calls, but it was probably one of the biggest single ambulances in the entire East Coast, if not the country. Super busy, saw a lot of stuff there, learned a lot. I wound up ultimately being, like I said, a career firefighter in central New Jersey, worked for a couple different departments, but ended my career there. In that time, most firefighters have secondary employment because you work a 24-hour shift. So I ended up doing construction. So I had a construction business where I bought homes and fixed them up and resold them. And then ultimately I converted that business to a renewable energy business. And I've had that for over 15 years. It's called NJ Renewable Energy. I can put a link down in the description if you want to check it out. But basically it was just residential and commercial solar installations in mostly the state of New Jersey. We also did solar thermal as well, did a big project in Manhattan. Anyway, so that's some of my skill set as far as solar energy, and we're going to have definitely solar play a big part in this camper. We're going to have solar on the roof, lithium battery setup, and the idea ultimately will be that the truck will be able to push power in either direction. In theory, maybe we could push power from the camper through the Cybertruck, although I suspect would be more difficult and not very viable. But certainly the Cybertruck itself will give power either 240 volt or 110 volt back to the camper to charge things, to run things. So that should be really, really cool. Truck camper experience. So I haven't owned different types of campers, but I'm pretty well versed in the truck camper space. Truck campered all over the United States, practically every state, every national park. Also done some time in Iceland, where we went all around the whole country for several weeks. So I'm quite, I have a lot of experience on how they operate, what the good and bad points about it, and how to certainly design one or build one. So we're going to use that experience. I have a company. I can't really go into the details of who that is just yet. So I can't go into the details of who this company is, not because we're trying to hide anything or be elusive here, but I forget the term, but there's basically, the company that I'm using is highly capable, highly competent, lots of experience. However, you start coming out with a new product or marketing a new product before it's ready, and basically what happens is it essentially crushes your existing business. And so we have some concerns about telling everyone who's doing it yet, because we don't want people to hold off on decisions they've already made or with vehicles they already have and so forth. So just keep that in the back of your mind. But when we do come out, like I said, this company has a lot of experience. We have a vision for the same thing, and we also understand, mind you, look, this is not going to be an easy task. I've owned electric cars. That's one thing I also didn't mention. I've been an EV owner for over 12 years, something like that. I had one of the first Chevy Volts. I had one of the first i3s. I do have a Model S now. Anyhow, so I'm familiar with the limitations of electric cars, or what their weaknesses are. And of course, range is certainly a big factor. And the Cybertruck at 340 miles is going to be perfectly fine, we think. but we're gonna have to pay attention very closely to coefficient of drag. So the camper itself is going to have, at least in the preliminary design here, to have a pop-up top, which is still rigid and hard, so it's not going to be like a tent. And so we'll try to reduce coefficient of drag the most that we can. And of course, our early evaluations, we're of the opinion, I think this is scientific fact, that towing something is drastically more, has a higher coefficient of drag than, say, putting something in the bed, as long as we can keep, like I said, things low. But anyway, as we get closer and as we start to begin production, I would really appreciate it if you could join along. I think it's going to be really interesting. We're hoping to have one of the first ones in the whole country, if not the first. I'm here in Colorado, if you haven't figured that out or seen the background. And so we're going to be testing this thing. You know, that's the other thing too. Like, I've been a blue collar guy my whole life. I'm F450 owner, F250 owner. So I have, you know, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. I know how to fix things, and I also now know how to work a truck hard, and we're going to do things. We're not just going to cruise around town and look pretty. We're going to beat this truck up a little bit. We're going to go in the mountains. We're going to go in the snow. We're going to go four-wheeling. We're going to go through some water, and we're going to also, we plan on doing a lot of accessory evaluations. I'll be checking out if there's a new winch to be had, or light bars, or whatever it is. So anyway, please join the channel, and we look forward to the next year or two.